All the way through Scripture, all the way the stories of the desert, it's always been a mindset thing. And the people who go through the desert are the ones whose minds are already on the other side of the desert. You can be sure that when Joseph and Mary were going through the desert to Egypt, they knew that they would not be staying in Egypt. They knew it was for a short period of time, and then they would be going back to Israel for a much greater purpose and a much greater reason. You know where their mindset was. And when your mindset is outside, when your mindset is beyond, your feet follow. It's amazing how things just follow right up. Man, I had a moment like that in my own life where anybody would have looked at me and said, yeah, you're out of the ministry. You're done with. You're gone. Yeah, that's the end of that. And you know what? A lot of people said that. But I had a dad that prayed for me. And I had a dad that kept telling me, no, that's not the way. And I had a pastor friend, and I'd go to his church, and he would constantly remind me, he says, no, God never removes his call. He never removes, you're going to be a pastor again. And those kinds of people speaking into me remind me, way down there, said, I don't see how it'll ever happen. But I know that God has a plan, and God has a purpose. And I want God's plan, I want God's purpose to take place in my life. And then out of the blue, here comes the Point Church. It was like that. I still think back. It was many years ago now. I look back, I'm just amazed. I'm in shock at how that done. You know what that's done? That's, if God would do that for me, I'm able to look at just about anybody, or literally anybody, and say, God will do it for you. Trust me. Trust me, you're a whole lot easier case than I was. God will do it for you. You don't have to wonder about it. God is so faithful. God is so good, and he will do it. And I've seen that over and over and over. And I tell you, I've got enough of the God's promises in my head. And I've seen enough stories and testimonies of how God has brought people through. Man alive, there's not a whole lot you can put in front of me that makes me doubt what God is doing, no matter how dark the night is or how cold the desert might be. I know, I get my mindset out there what God is going to do. And boy, your feet just follow right along. Just watch out. God brings everything around. He's very good that way. I hear stories of people who have answered prayer all the time, and I'm just always encouraged by that, how God's answering prayer. Sometimes it's a quick prayer. Sometimes it's a decades-long prayer. Regardless, it's so encouraging to keep hearing these prayers. God is moving. God is at work. God does not sleep, nor does he slumber. God watches over us, and God interacts, and God helps us every step of the way.